Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a situation that can really get under our skin, being ignored. You know that feeling, right? You send a text and there's no reply. You wave at someone and they look right through you. Or maybe you share an idea in a meeting and it's like you never even spoke. It's frustrating. It's hurtful. And if we're being honest, it can make us feel pretty small. But here's the thing, how we react to being ignored says a lot about us. It can either drag us down into a pit of negativity, or it can be an opportunity for personal growth and inner strength. That's where Stoicism comes in. This ancient philosophy has some incredibly powerful insights that can help us navigate the choppy waters of social interaction, especially when we feel overlooked or dismissed. Before we dive in, I want you to think about a time when you felt ignored. Hold that memory in your mind. Now, if you're ready to transform how you handle these situations, type "I choose strength" in the comments below. This simple phrase captures the essence of what we're about to explore, choosing how we respond rather than just reacting. All right, let's get into it. We're going to cover 11 Stoic principles that can radically change how you deal with being ignored. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools you can start using today. Lesson 1. Focus on what you can control. The first, and perhaps most crucial Stoic principle, is to focus on what's within our control. When someone ignores us, it's easy to obsess over their behavior. We wonder why they're doing it, what we did wrong, or how we can make them pay attention to us. But here's the truth bomb: we can't control other people's actions. We can only control our own. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals, not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. So, when you're being ignored, ask yourself, what can I actually control in this situation? You can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. You can't control whether someone responds to your text, but you can control whether you send another one or move on with your day. This shift in focus is incredibly liberating. Instead of feeling helpless, you realize you have the power to choose your reaction. Lesson 2. Practice indifference to indifference. Now, this might sound a bit counterintuitive, but hear me out. The Stoics believed in cultivating a sense of indifference to things outside our control. This doesn't mean not caring at all, but rather not allowing external events to disturb our inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When someone ignores you, try to cultivate a sense of indifference to their indifference. This doesn't mean you don't care about the relationship, but rather that you don't allow their lack of response to dictate your emotional state. It's like building an emotional shield. The ignore still happens, but it bounces off you instead of piercing your heart. It takes practice, but it's a game changer. Lesson 3. Use it as an opportunity for self-reflection. Stoicism is big on self-improvement and introspection. When you're ignored, instead of immediately blaming the other person, use it as a chance to look inward. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, advised every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what weakness did I overcome today? What virtue did I acquire? Apply this to being ignored. Ask yourself, am I too dependent on others' attention? Am I clear in my communication? Am I surrounding myself with the right people? This isn't about blaming yourself. but about using every experience, even painful ones, as a chance to grow. Maybe you realize you need to work on your self-esteem, or perhaps you see that you've been clingy in relationships. Whatever insights you gain, they're valuable fuel for personal growth. Lesson 4. Remember, it's rarely personal. Here's a truth that's hard to swallow, but incredibly freeing. Most of the time, when people ignore us, it has nothing to do with us. People are caught up in their own lives, their own struggles, their own heads. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you're ignored, instead of assuming it's a deliberate slight against you, consider other possibilities. Maybe they're stressed about work. Maybe they're dealing with personal issues. Maybe they're just absent-minded. This perspective shift doesn't excuse rudeness, but it can prevent us from spiraling into negative thoughts. It allows us to respond with empathy rather than anger or hurt. Lesson 5. Cultivate self-sufficiency. The Stoics placed great value on self-sufficiency. They believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external validation or attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." When you're ignored, instead of seeking validation from the person ignoring you, turn inward. Remind yourself of your intrinsic worth. Engage in activities that make you feel confident and fulfilled. Call a friend who appreciates you. Write in a journal about your achievements. The more you cultivate this inner strength, the less power others' indifference will have over you. Lesson 6. Practice negative visualization. This is a powerful Stoic technique. It involves imagining worst-case scenarios to appreciate what we have and prepare for challenges. In the context of being ignored, imagine a life where you're often overlooked or dismissed. Really feel it. Now, open your eyes and look at your real life. Chances are, this one instance of being ignored isn't as bad as the scenario you imagined. Seneca advised, "We should every night call ourselves to an account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired?" By practicing this, you build resilience. You realize you can handle being ignored, and it loses some of its sting. Lesson 7. Focus on your character. The Stoics believed that our character, our virtues and values, is the only thing truly under our control, and the only thing that really matters. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things. Don't wish to be thought to know anything, and even if you appear to be somebody important to others, distrust yourself." When you're ignored, instead of trying to change the other person's behavior, focus on maintaining your own integrity. Are you responding with patience, with kindness, with resilience? These are the things that truly define you, not whether someone responds to your text or acknowledges you in a meeting. Lesson 8. Practice empathy. Stoicism might seem like a philosophy of emotional detachment, but it actually emphasizes understanding and empathy. Marcus Aurelius advised, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? When someone ignores you, try to put yourself in their shoes. Have you ever ignored someone, even unintentionally? Understanding doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, but it can help you respond more wisely and compassionately. Lesson 9. Use the dichotomy of control. This is a fundamental Stoic concept. It states that some things are within our control and others aren't. Our judgments, our attitudes, our responses, these are within our control. Other people's actions, external events, these aren't. Epictetus put it this way: there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. When you're ignored, mentally separate what you can control from what you can't. You can't control if someone responds to you, but you can control how long you wait before moving on. You can't control if someone values your input, but you can control whether you continue to offer it. This mental separation helps you focus your energy where it can actually make a difference. Lesson 10. View it as a test. The Stoics saw challenges as tests of their character and opportunities to practice their philosophy. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." When you're ignored, instead of seeing it as a problem, view it as a test. This is your chance to practice patience, to cultivate indifference to things outside your control, to focus on your own character. Ask yourself, how would the ideal Stoic handle this situation? Then strive to embody that ideal. It's not about being perfect, but about using each challenge as a chance to grow stronger. Lesson 11. Remember the bigger picture. Finally, the Stoics were big on maintaining perspective. They often contemplated the vastness of the universe and the brevity of human life to remind themselves not to get too caught up in momentary concerns. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You're just a little soul carrying around a corpse, reminding us of the fleeting nature of our existence." When you're ignored, zoom out. In the grand scheme of things, how important is this really? Will it matter in a week? A month? A year? Often, we blow these incidents out of proportion in our minds. This doesn't mean your feelings aren't valid, but maintaining perspective can help you respond more calmly and wisely. Now, let's bring all this together. Being ignored isn't fun. It can hurt. It can frustrate. It can make us question our worth. But by applying these Stoic principles, we can transform how we handle these situations. Remember, 1. Focus on what you can control. 2. Practice indifference to indifference. 3. Use it as an opportunity for self-reflection. 4. Remember, it's rarely personal. 5. Cultivate self-sufficiency. 6. Practice negative visualization. 7. Focus on your character. 8. Practice empathy. 9. Use the dichotomy of control. 10. View it as a test. 11. Remember the bigger picture. By internalizing these principles, you're not just learning to handle being ignored, you're building emotional resilience that will serve you in all areas of life. The next time someone ignores you, pause. Take a deep breath. Remember these lessons. Choose your response consciously rather than reacting instinctively. You might be surprised at how differently the situation unfolds. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. We're all working on ourselves, all trying to navigate the complexities of human interaction. Be patient with yourself as you practice these principles. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final quote from Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your power lies in your response. Choose wisely. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember to type "I choose strength" in the comments below. Let's build a community of people committed to personal growth and emotional resilience. Until next time, Stay strong, stay stoic, and keep growing. Peace out.